What fuels self-development and personal growth? That's the question we're going to answer today in this video, which is a different kind of video for this channel. Now, if you're new to the channel, you might be going, well, I thought this was a tabletop RPG channel. What's going on? Hang with me there. Or you might be saying, wait a minute, this is a tabletop RPG channel? What's going on? Okay, again, hang in there with me. This is what I call the RPG Elite Philosophy for Life series. So for those of you who are new or you want to know what's going down, tabletop RPGs is normally what we talk about on the channel. But one of the pillars of this channel is what's called RPG Elite Philosophy. These are 10 qualities of what I call an RPG Elite. And we've already done a complete series on that in reference to tabletop RPGs. So if you haven't seen that, there'll be a link for that down in the description. You can go ahead and watch I don't know. I think there's like 20 videos or something like that. Might even be more, who knows? But we already finished that. But once we started getting towards the end of that series, I began to think, okay, what I'm going to do for the first Tuesday of the month? Because the first Tuesday of the month is when we do these videos. And then it dawned on me, I was like, well, there's a deeper context to all of these qualities. I mean, there's a foundation, like where they came from, that could be applied to life. And so I decided to do this new series of RPG Elite Philosophy for Life. And so this is going to be for everybody. So it's not just for people who get into tabletop RPGs, even though I'm going to be using those references in this video. Neither will it just be for people outside of tabletop RPGs. I'm going to kind of connect them together so you can see how the particular quality that I'm going to be talking about today applies to your life, whether you play tabletop RPGs or not. So that is what we're going to do today. So first, I'm going to lay the groundwork, because in the last video on this same quality, I didn't really lay the groundwork as I should have. So I'm really going to lay the groundwork on this particular quality. And if I got some time, I'm going to start on truth number 1 of the 3 ruthless truths. 3 ruthless truths that fuel self-development and personal growth. And I'm telling you folks, it's not what you think. It is not what you think. So let's do this like Brutus, because you always knew this, and roll that transition. So first, let's go back and take a look at this RPG Elite quality, which is RPG Elite quality number 8 out of 10. It's not about the system. It's about the story. Now, when it comes to tabletop RPGs, you'll know what I'm talking about there. It's not about, the dice system, mechanics, rules, all the rest of that stuff. It's not really about that for an RPG Elite. It's about the story. It's about the characters. And I talked about that in the last video. I talked about no characters, no story, and it's just description is boring and nobody wants to play that. So you have to have interesting characters. I want you to stick a pin in that as we move through this. But how do you apply this to your life? Like, what do you mean it's not about the system, it's about the story? Let me put it to you this way. Everyone on the planet is born into several different systems, and they have no control over it. For example, you're born into a family system. That's your family. You don't have any say in that. It's your family. It is what it is. Then you have relationship systems that develop in your community because you are part of a community system. Then maybe you have a educational system that you're a part of where your relationship system expands. Then maybe later on, as you're getting ready to get out of the educational system or in the educational system, you then enter the vocational system. Now you are now expanding again your relationship system. And these are multi-layered systems. But a lot of times you don't have control over a lot of these things. Some of them you do, but most of the major ones, like your family system, you have no control over that. You're just born into where you're born into by the sovereignty and providence of God. Or, you know, if you're godless and you don't like that, then okay, then fate, luck, and chance, whatever. So these are the systems that we are born in, right? All right. Well, you can approach your life in a couple of different ways. You can cry and whine and moan and complain about the system that you have been born into and are a part of. Or you can focus not on the system, but on the story. Now, what story am I talking about? Remember what I said in the last video? Without a person, there's no story. And the story that I'm talking about is your story. I'm talking about your story. You can be focused on writing your story instead of woe is me and the system is bad and cry and whine and moan and complain and ad infinitum ad nauseum to whatever complaints that you want to put in there. Okay, nobody wants to be around that because it's not interesting, it doesn't help them, and it's just annoying. So, we want solutions. And this is why you see people from all walks of life, from all over the planet, right? They can be a part of these different familial systems and relationship systems and educational and vocational, governmental, ideological, philosophical, all of these different systems. And yet somehow they are what we call successful. I'm not just talking about financially. I'm just talking about these people have made it work for them. How? You got people in different governmental systems that are successful and governmental systems that are not good. Like these are not good governmental systems, but they made it work. And it's just like a tabletop RPG. There are some systems that are really conducive to make the story work. They're just better. They're better with narrative and all the rest of that stuff. And there's some that are awful. Now, it's not that you can't make the story work in those systems. You can. You have to do some things and, you have to finagle some things, but you can make it work. And it's the same thing with life. It's not about the system that you're born into or the system that you're a part of. No, it's about how are you going to figure out how to write your story. So really, this is about where is your focus? Is your focus going to be on the system? And if the focus is on the system, it's usually about crying and whining and complaining, like I said earlier. Or is it going to be about writing the story? Writing your story and focused on that. You're in the system, but how are you going to write your story and make it interesting to where other people want to get in on your story? How are you going to do that? Because it's possible. Like I said, from all walks of life, from different countries and everything, with different types of family systems. Some people are middle class, some people are poor, some people are dirt poor, some people are ultra rich, some people are just upper class, and all of these different situations, but you only find a small handful that really focus on the story. That's why it's RPG Elite. They focus on writing their stories and they get it. Did you know there was a new survey, a recent survey, not new, but recent, done by Ramsey Solutions, and it was of 10,000 millionaires, and I think they're mostly in the United States. Did you know that 79% of those millionaires was given no money? They were given no money at all to make their millions. Self-made. Worked. That's it. How is it that they did that? How'd that happen? I mean, they came from all different kinds of systems. But yet you have these handful that make it work. How? Because they focused on the story. I like what Dave Ramsey says. He says, you should be more concerned about what's happening in your house instead of the White House. And you got some people who are just obsessed about what's going on in the White House and their house is tore up from the floor up. I mean, it would have some weight to what you're saying if your house was in order. But their house is in all kinds of chaos and disorder and whatever. And somehow we're supposed to, what? Listen to what you say? Really? Come on, son. Get out of here with that nonsense. Go write your own story. Listen, the system is just a framework that your story is in. It's not the determiner of your story. If you understand and recognize that, no matter what walk of life you're in, even just within the United States, some of you guys might be looking at me from someplace else, it applies to you also. If you would just go, I'm going to figure this out, I'm going to write my story, then you can help other people write their own stories, focus on their stories, because your story is interesting enough to look into. Because there's some people whose story is hardly even there, or their story is so abjectly annoying or boring that nobody wants to have anything to do with them. Rightly so. So it's not about the system. Don't focus on that. Focus on writing your own story. And you'll find that more people are going to be interested when you accomplish certain things in your story. They'll be more interested in you. You can teach people, you can give back to people as you are writing your story. That's what it's about, really. It's about helping other people by helping yourself. Now, I had mentioned earlier, I didn't think that I was going to get through those 3 ruthless truths because this is going to be a 4-video series, starting with this one as a foundation. Even though I already did a video on RPG Elite Quality number 8. However, this is going to be a series within itself type of deal. So it's going to be 5 videos overall covering this particular quality. Might be more, who knows, but it's going to be at least 5 on a minimum. Okay, so I'm not going to leave you hanging though. I want you to start thinking about these 3 ruthless truths because each one is going to get their own video. And I want you to start thinking about how they fuel self-development and personal growth. And like I said, not going to be what you think. So let's list them one by one real quick. Here we go. Chaos, conflict, challenge. Those 3 things fuel your self-development and personal growth. And we're going to go over the first one on the first Tuesday of the month next month, since we do these videos on the first Tuesday of the month, for those of you who don't know. All right. Well, that's going to be it, folks. That's it for me. That's all I got for this video. So if you got any value out of the video at all, please hit that like button. Also, if you want to stick around, I come out with videos every Tuesday, God willing. Sometimes I come out with 2 videos. Shoot, I might come out with 2 videos and a short. I might come out with 2 videos, a short sometimes, and then I'll do kind of like one of them community tab things. Who knows what I'm going to do, but I at least come out with 1 video every week. And if you want to stick around, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Let's get to the question of the vid. So I talked about these many layered and actually multifaceted systems that we are kind of born into. So out of all of these different systems, which one do you focus on the most and why? So I gave you examples of the many different types of systems. And if I didn't mention a system that you think is in there, then you go ahead and you just let us know down in the comments below, because we need to get engagement going and start talking about this, because this is the foundation. This here is the foundation. You're going to find, I'm curious about this because I know everybody's not going to be focusing on the same system. I know it. I don't need to be some kind of prophet to see that, yeah, everybody ain't going to be focusing on the same system. But which one is the ones that you focus on the most in your life? Maybe it's 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, but don't give more than 3. Actually, don't give more than 2. Just give me 2. Your top 2 systems that you focus on. Top 2 systems that you focus on. to help kind of where you're going to put them in a place of priority for your story, the framework that you want to write your story. 2 of them, y'all. Let's get some engagement going down in the comments below. That's it. It's going to do it for me. I'm going to be gone, y'all. I got to do my thing, chicken wing, which means I got to do my snaggle puss.
So exit, stage left.
Hey, if you got a game going on this week, happy game, and I pray it is an RPG Elite session that's more immersive, enjoyable, and meaningful. So in the meantime, between time, it's your boy Servant. I gots to go, so peace. 5,000 Leets. That means, y'all, I'm gone.